since I got a few minutes here. Wanted to talk about action and intent in making changes in your life now. Most people know I've been on a journey for health. And I've done pretty damn good. Now, I've got a long way to go, but compared to what I was doing and how I was health-wise, I've come a long way. And I'm going to tell you one ancient redneck ease secret. Your intent is only as good as your action. If you go through life and you have an intent or a goal and you do not have action to follow through with it, it don't mean dick. It means absolutely nothing. Because if you do not have the follow through, if you do not have the willpower, if you do not take that first step to change, it is never going to happen. And I understand there are some people out there that need meds to get weight off. I get that. There are some people that their metabolisms are messed up somehow, or their thyroid is fucked up somehow, but guess what? 98% of that is from diet. Because the American diet is one of the worst in the world. We have the highest level of processed foods in the world. Consider that for a minute. I mean, Monsanto is banned in the vast majority of other developed countries. They know it's fucked to put on things like food. And yet here we go, putting pesticides on everything. Now they're even putting that appeal shit on some organic produce. And I'm sorry, I'm a Gen X, and I'm going to keep it real. That shit has been planned out for fucking years. This is something that's been changing progressively for a good 40, 50 years now, okay? It's not an unknown thing. It's not something they know isn't bad for you. Just look at how they make half of the deli meat. It's nasty shit. Nitrates are fucking horrible for you. And yet we still eat it. And as pure as I've gotten as far as diet goes, I still eat lunch meats, some of them. I still eat mass-produced bread, some. I still eat mayonnaise. I just don't do it on nearly as much of a level as I did before. Because I've gotten rid of so much that if I can't give myself at least a little bit of concession, then I'm not going to enjoy life whatsoever. So there's things that I do to counteract that. But the greatest thing that changed for me was I finally got the willpower to take the intent and put it into fucking action. Okay? I have lost over half my body weight in 6 years. Now, could I have done it quicker? Yeah, probably. The last couple of years I've been somewhat lax in my diet. And, I've stayed in a steady weight range. I'll admit it, I could probably drop a lot more real quick if I wanted to tighten up and restrict my diet even more. But I've restricted it enough. So for me, my next step in that action for the intent, that willpower, is to get the exercise up. To once taxes are done, to finally get into the dentist, to see what I need to have done to fix my teeth, because teeth are an important part of your health, and I have ignored them for decades. So it is what it is. I'm getting back to consuming cannabis, but it's going to be a very small amount and a very occasional thing, because I want to. It's legal in this state now, so why not? I might as well partake a little bit. But for me, indica is a better strain. It's more relaxing. I know they're essentially fairly close to the same, actually, physically. There's less difference than people think. However, for me, indica's always worked a little bit better. I prefer the higher CBD to THC content, because then I don't get quite as high, but I still feel much more relaxed and pain goes away. So that's something I will be reintegrating a little bit. But increase in walking, increase in doing things like sit-ups and push-ups and things of that nature, right? I have to get back up on those things. So that is a willpower thing. I've already taken plenty of steps in getting the dietary health there. It's the other part that I've got to institute and start executing better. Because for a while I was doing pretty good with the walking and all that, but then I kind of calmed down on that too. Now, I'm not really that disappointed because, point of fact, my blood pressure and my blood numbers and all that stuff, it's pretty phenomenal despite all that. So I'm not disappointed with myself in any way. I've done pretty fucking good. But, there was decades of time that my friends that made changes in their lives would continually tell me, hey, you'll improve your life if you do A, B, C, or X, Y, Z. Like, I always got advice from people, and I understood that advice was good, but I never really took it. So, it was on deaf ears, essentially. And once I got the willpower to step out and do the shit that was necessary, I realized, you know what? These people were right. And I have to extend apologies to some of my friends that have given me advice in the past. I know that this is really irritating, by the way. There we go. That's, well, not really. The sunshine is shining through my windshield in a very unique way. I screwed the pooch on a lot of stuff. So I'm making a blanket apology to friends of mine that gave me advice over the years. You were absolutely right. But I've conquered a lot of shit. And I'm much better now. And a lot of that was finally taking advice that I got and doing something about it. So hopefully that is an apology in its own way. But for friends of mine that are struggling with things like weight, cholesterol, the way your body mechanics work, you cannot make a change until you take the first fucking step. If you do not take the first step and you keep saying, I've got to change, it's never going to happen. And I'm telling you, it's a product of convenience and laziness. I hate to tell you guys that, my friends that are big and need to lose weight. It is a matter of willpower, and it is laziness. Plain and simple. I was lazy for decades, guys. If you're not willing to take the willpower to make the first step, you're never going to make the change. And I'm saying that because I care. And I'm telling anybody that watches this video on YouTube because I care. Because the medical profession in this country, the medical society, the food industry, these great big machines do not care about your health. They fix symptoms. They don't make it their business to cure you unless it costs a shit ton of money. I mean, think about it. Look at what insulin costs. Look at what some migraine injection migraines cost without insurance. Look at what half the shit on the planet that we get in this country for medications costs without insurance, and how much insurance costs. And then you still got to pay after that. This country is retarded with the way that it takes care of its people. And a lot of it, I believe, is on purpose. And I'm a Gen X. I don't give a fuck. If somebody sees this and they don't like that opinion, well, I'm sorry if your feelings are hurt, but that's a fucking fact. You can look on the back of 98% of the shit on the shelf in a box and see it's got 10,000 fucking ingredients in it. For me, if I see a box and it's got more than 3 ingredients, I almost always leave that shit alone. It's mindset and willpower, folks. That's all there is to it. You've got to motivate yourself, and you've got to take that first fucking step. It's that fucking simple.